Hello, my name is Maria Martinez, and I would like to welcome you to Brazilian Coordination for Drumset. In this video, I will explain and demonstrate exercises to help you develop what I believe are three necessary concepts in learning a rhythmic style. They are coordination, feel, and improvisational techniques. By developing each of these concepts, you'll be able to express your musical ideas with ease and authenticity. These lessons will be based in a variety of Brazilian styles, including bossa nova, samba, baião, and partido alto. In addition to learning the rhythm and techniques presented in this video, it's important that you listen to these styles of music. That is, if you intend to play the style of music. By listening and analyzing the music, you'll begin to learn the musical language of each style, which in turn will make your vocabulary and interpretation of the music more authentic. So if you're ready, let's get started. First, let's address a few aspects regarding the drum set when playing this style of music. To start, I recommend you use a light pair of sticks because the bossa nova is a soft, sensual style of music. It requires that you be aware of the sound you're producing, and a light pair of sticks will help you accomplish this. For example, the cross stick is an essential part of the bossa nova rhythm, and it's important to get a warm tone from the cross stick. One way to do this is to place the palm of your hand flat on the drum head and rest the tip of the stick on the head. By doing this, I'm able to use the tip of the stick as a pivot point, and my hand will keep the drum head from ringing. This technique enables me to produce a warm tone by not allowing the overtones on the snare drum head to ring as I play. When playing on the snare drum, I want to play towards the edge of the drum. This area of the drum produces an open tone as opposed to the center, where you get a dry staccato sound, which is less desirable for this style. For the right cymbal, aim towards the middle of the cymbal and play with a light touch, but maintain the intensity while playing the rhythm. The closed hi-hat with the foot should produce a clean staccato sound. To get this sound, I'll press the pedal firmly with my foot. To produce an open or splash hi-hat sound, use a quick motion with the ball and heel of the foot. Now that we know how to get the appropriate sounds from the drum set, let's get started on playing and developing the bossa nova rhythmic style. The bossa nova is felt and played in 4/4 or common time, so I recommend using a two-part counting system like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, refer to the bossa nova ostinato example number 1 in the booklet. The right cymbal plays a straight eighth note feel, while the bass drum and hi-hat play a one-bar ostinato phrase. I'll demonstrate. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Notice that I'm playing the bass drum without any accents. For the left-hand figure, refer to the rhythmic study number 2, which is a Brazilian-style two-bar rhythmic phrase. I'll demonstrate. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'll demonstrate the ostinato combined with the left-hand rhythm study. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here's the same ostinato and left-hand rhythm played on the snare drum. However, I'm going to accent and add press rolls to the snare drum phrase where I think they will sound good. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now, using the same example, let's work on improvising. I'll play the rhythm study and repeat it. Then I'll improvise a two-bar phrase of my own and repeat it before playing the original rhythm study example again. I'll demonstrate. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Improvising can be an intimidating skill, but by thinking of it in terms of a rhythmic conversation where what you improvise reflects the rhythm study you just played, you'll have far less trouble coming up with these ideas. This can be done by simply altering a few notes from the rhythm study. Another handy tool is to play the beginning, the middle, or the end of the rhythm study within your improvised phrase. Either way, your improvised phrase should reflect the rhythm study. Video, we're going to cover the samba. The samba feel is best realized by becoming familiar with the traditional hand percussion parts, which are felt and played in 2/2 or cut time. For this, divide the beat into 4 parts when you count. 1 ienda, 2 ienda, 1 ienda, 2 ienda. Understanding how the percussion parts are played will help you acquire a more traditional feel. Let's begin with the surdo part. The surdo is a large, low-pitched drum that maintains the underlying pulse of the samba rhythm. When playing a samba on the drum set, the bass drum emulates this part. To really understand the correct feel of the bass drum part, I'll play the basic surdo example using the floor tom. Refer to the basic surdo example number 3 in the booklet, as I demonstrate it using a step-by-step method. Start by laying the palm and fingers of your left hand on the floor tom head Now play only the right-hand part of this pattern, which alternates between the head and the rim. One ienda, two ienda. While keeping your left palm on the head, play the written pattern with the left hand fingertips only, achieving a ghost note effect. One ienda, two ienda. The final step is to lift your left hand on beat 2, so that when you strike the head with the right hand stick, it creates an accent open tone. One ienda, two ienda. Now that you've got the mechanics of playing the surdo part, the next step is to play it until you're comfortable. Then match your bass drum to the muted and open tones of the floor tom. And match the hi-hat to the rim clicks like this. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. At first, you might find it difficult to resist the temptation of accenting beat 1 with the bass drum. So to internalize the samba feel, let's refer to the samba surdo ostinato, example number 4 in the booklet. This ostinato includes the surdo part played with one stick on the floor tom, while playing the hi-hat and bass drum part simultaneously. The cross written below beat 1 indicates a muted tone, and the O underneath beat 2 is an open tone. Here's the right-hand pattern only. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Now, here's the ostinato with the hi-hat and bass drum. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Before going any further, I'd like to discuss the feel and the correct interpretation of the eighth notes in this style, using a few of the percussion instruments played in the samba. First, I'll demonstrate a basic pandero part. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. The tamborim. One ienda, two ienda. And the shaker. One ienda, two ienda. The loose interpretation of the eighth note subdivision is neither strictly straight nor swung. Try saying the syllables takaraka over and over again. Takaraka, 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 takaraka. Now, I'll transfer the eighth note feel over to the snare drum. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. The best way to describe this feel is to visualize the way an egg would roll across a table with a sort of lope, as opposed to the way a tennis ball would roll smoothly. Learning the nuances of this feel requires a bit of listening, practice, and patience. Okay, let's refer to rhythm study number 5 in the booklet. I'll demonstrate. Okay, one ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Next, I'll demonstrate combining the rhythm study with the samba surdo ostinato. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Notice that I again took the liberty to play accents where I felt they would sound best. When playing the rhythm study with the cross stick, simply omit the press roll. I'll demonstrate. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Now, using the same example, let's work on improvising. But before we move on, remember, I will be using the same improvising concepts for the samba as I discussed during the bossa nova lesson. First, I'll play the rhythm study, and repeat it. Then I'll improvise a 2-bar phrase of my own and repeat it before playing the original rhythm. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. Once you feel comfortable playing over the samba surdo ostinato, experiment improvising phrases of your own. Of the samba feel, let's work on a different approach to playing the samba. Refer to Samba Ostinato number 6 in the booklet and play the ride cymbal pattern as straight 8s. I'll demonstrate. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. And now go to rhythm study number 7 in the booklet and play that. I'll demonstrate. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. I should mention that the half notes written below the rhythm study are there to remind us of the surdo feel. Okay, now let's combine the rhythm study and the ostinato, like this. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. Using the same improvising concepts we discussed during the Bossa Nova lesson, I'm going to play the rhythm study, repeat it, then I'll improvise my own 2-bar phrase, and once again repeat the rhythm study. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. In this next lesson, we'll explore a couple of different approaches to playing and developing the samba. Refer to the Samba Ostinato example number 8 in the booklet. This ostinato is different in that it involves the bass drum and hi-hat only. Here it is. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. Now refer to the rhythm study number 9 in the booklet. This rhythm study can be played a couple of different ways. The first way is in unison with the ride cymbal and snare drum. I'll demonstrate. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. Now I'll combine the ostinato and the rhythm study. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. The next step is to listen to the phrase of the rhythm study and then decide where to add fill-in figures on the ride cymbal, like this. 1-E and the 2-E and the 1-E and the 2-E and the. This approach derives from the patterns played on the tamborim, where the ghost notes are muted with the middle finger of the left hand, and the open tone become the accented notes. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Now, using the same rhythm study, let's work on some more improvising. Same process as before. Play the rhythm study number 9, repeat it. Improvise a 2-bar phrase and repeat it before playing example number 9 again. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. The second way to interpret the example number 9 is to play eighth notes hand to hand on the snare drum, and then accent the rhythmic figure of the rhythm study. I'll demonstrate that with the ostinato. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. It's important to play the eighth notes with a loose feel and at a low dynamic volume so that accented notes of the rhythm study stand out. If you play the eighth notes perfectly straight, you will not be able to capture the correct feel of the samba rhythm. Also be played in odd meters. In this lesson, we'll explore playing samba in 3/4 time signature. To get started, refer to the samba ostinato example number 10. I'll demonstrate. 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the. Notice that I'm slightly accenting the bass drum on beat 1, but depending on the music, the bass drum can be accented on beat 2 instead. Now refer to rhythm study number 11. 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the. I'll play the ostinato combined with the rhythm study. 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the. Notice I slightly accented the right cymbal along with the rhythmic figure played by my left hand. This gives the groove an opportunity to breathe. Using the same example and improvising concepts, I'm going to show you how to create a new phrase from the original rhythm study. 1E and the 2E and the 3 and the. Now let's try the samba rhythm in an odd time signature. I'm going to demonstrate how to play 2 different samba ostinatos in the 7/4 time signature. The first 7/4 ostinato is example number 12, which I will count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now refer to rhythm study example number 13 and play it with the cross stick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And here are the 2 examples combined. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. To create a new phrase, use the previous improvising concepts. Play the rhythm study and repeat it, then improvise and repeat a phrase of your own. It's important that you remember the improvised phrase so that you can repeat it. By practicing these improvising concepts, you will learn to construct new rhythmic phrases and solo ideas that will sound more natural and musical. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. The second 7/4 ostinato has a different bass drum rhythmic feel. This is found in example number 14 in your booklet. I'll demonstrate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now refer to rhythm study number 15. Here it is on the snare drum. I'll demonstrate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And here it is combined with the ostinato. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Again, I'll use the previous improvising concepts to create a new phrase from example 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Here's a tune that utilizes 7/4 and 3/4 time signatures, played with the band. underlying pulse of the Bayong rhythm is played by a low-pitched drum called the zabumba, which is a pseudo-type drum used specifically for the Bayong style of music. Like the samba, however, the Bayong is felt and played in 2/2 or cut time, so we'll use the same four-part counting system of 1 ienda, 2 ienda. Now, refer to the Bayong ostinato example number 16 in the booklet. The syncopated bass drum part emulates the rhythm played by the zabumba. Here's the ostinato. 1 ienda, 2 ienda, 1 ienda, 2 ienda. Notice that I'm slightly accenting the of beat 1 on the bass drum in order to give the groove a syncopated push. In addition to the zabumba, the triangle is traditionally used in the bayong style. This adds to the syncopated feel of the musical style. Check it out. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. You can emulate the triangle part by using the hi-hat. For the left-hand figure, refer to rhythm study number 17 in your booklet. Here it is. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. And now let's combine the bayong ostinato with the rhythm study. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Okay, let's improvise on the bayong. Using the same example, I'll show you how to improvise off of the rhythm study 2-bar phrase. We'll use the same pattern as before. Twice through the rhythm study, improvise, repeat, and then play the rhythm study again. Because the underlying pulse of the bayong is syncopated, I recommend that you leave more space between the notes played while improvising on the snare drum. One ienda, two ienda, one ienda, two ienda. Let's check out the bayong style with the band. to as funk samba or samba de partido alto. Its rhythm is in 2/2 or cut time and is a 2-bar phrase that sometimes starts with a pickup bar. The partido alto is syncopated and requires somewhat of a loose right-hand approach when playing eighth notes on the hi-hat or ride cymbal. Let's go to the partido alto example number 18 in the booklet. For now, I'll demonstrate it without the pickup bar. 1 y and the 2 y and the 1 y and the 2 y and the. Now refer to the ostinato in example 19, which I'll play over the partido alto example number 18. 1 y and the 2 y and the 1 y and the 2 y and the. Notice that I accented the hi-hat along with the snare and bass drum rhythms. This allows the groove to breathe. Playing straight, unaccented notes on the hi-hat makes the groove sound way too stiff. Okay, let's add the pickup bar. When you play these pickup beats, play the second subdivision E of beat 1 in unison with your right hand, then begin to play the hi-hat or ride cymbal ostinato like this. 1 y and the 2 y and the 1 y and the 2 y and the. The partido alto is sometimes played during an intro or a bridge section of a bossa nova song and should be counted in 4/4 rather than 2/2 or cut time. Let's give it a try. I'll play 7 bars of bossa nova, and on the 8th bar, I'll play the pickup into the partido alto, which lasts for 8 bars, and then we'll return to the bossa nova rhythm. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5. The same idea can be applied to the samba, except that you continue to count in 2/2 or cut time. 1 y and the 2 y and the 1 y and the 2 y and the. Okay, now let's hear the partido alto rhythmic style with the full band. That brings us to the end of Brazilian coordination for drum set. Before I go, I'd like to say that I hope the video helps you acquire all that is necessary to express your musical ideas with ease. Until next time, keep grooving, and I hope to see you soon.